Game 2 of 2 here in Kendall Ice Arena, where the Miami Hurricanes Division III squad look to wrap things up in the 2024 portion of their season. Back on the win column after taking a loss 3-1 last night to these very same Embry-Riddle Eagles, who made their way across after getting on a bit of a hot streak, wins in 2 of their last 3 prior to the weekend. And with that win against the UM Hurricanes last night, that put them in wins of 3 of their last 4, and a 3-1 win from the Embry-Riddle Eagles. After a first period goal from the Miami Hurricanes, it was 3 unanswered for the Eagles, allowed Embry-Riddle to get the 2 points and allow them to get their 4th win of the season, putting them at 3-9-2 on the season. Miami Hurricanes, they sit at 2-6-3 after taking the loss to Embry-Riddle back-to-back since early October and late way through September was the last time that UM had to deal with consecutive losses. They look to prevent that from being 3 straight since their opening 3 games of the 24-25 season. Hello, welcome. Ryan Lee alongside our entire University of Miami broadcast crew with you here in Kendall Ice Arena, where we have been following along all the action the entire way through as the Division II side for the University of Miami went up to Lakeland, took 2 losses back-to-back to the Florida Southern Mocs, and the Division III side looked to prevent the same fate here with this D3 side here at Kendall Ice Arena. The junior goaltender from Clifton Park, New York, James Murdoch, will take the net for Embry-Riddle. They'll be in the blue, starting things off from left to right, while the Miami Hurricanes, back to Brooks they go. The sophomore from Newburyport, Massachusetts, is back in net for the Division III squad. He is yet to get a win with the D3 side, but did get that win in that Florida State game where he was a part of the Division II side, playing FSU's D3 side last Sunday. He looks to get back into the win column, as he could do so for the first time with his Division III side in this 2024-25 season, as his Miami Hurricanes are going to be in the white, going from right to left. John Joyce set to take the opening draw. He is opposite of Griffin Lynch as we start things off here at Kendall Ice Arena. Ryan Lee and the entire University of Miami hockey broadcast crew with you here in Kendall Ice Arena, as we have some fresh bodies on the ice, with Evan Zadakis trying to block things off, but cannot quite do so, as Zadakis is on the retreat, starting things off for this Miami Hurricane side, partnered with Michael Nas for this Hurricane side that's been dealing with 5 defensemen all weekend long because of some of the roster restrictions of the guys going to Lakeland, as Riddle want to make something work up ice with a deflection upward for Labor 2. Labor 2 towards Brooks. He'll smother things up. Only 39 seconds in for a Miami Hurricanes team who had a nice streak going prior to the weekend starting with those 3 losses and 1 win in the last 5. But back-to-back losses is not exactly where this Kings team wants to go, especially because they have had their respective struggles as of late. And that continued in that 3-1 loss where they really had control of probably the first dozen minutes or so of the game, but the other 30-some-odd after that were all Embry-Riddle. Slapped along the wall, Nate Koo looks to start something up. Siegerman cannot retrieve, and eventually Miami get it up and out. Rory Dawson sends it across, where Mitch Silva is the lone man back, as Brooks lets that one fly past his face. Barrage into the corner. No one able to get it loose but Koo. Siegerman. A wide open Ethan Block just out of range, so he allows Sharaburiak to take the poke up. Koo on the intercept. Tries to go for Siegerman. Back for Koo. No one able to poke it in as Miami look to keep it in, but they do maintain possession as Rory Dawson just slaps that one towards the Embry-Riddle end where Anderson takes over. Ethan Block evades a hit. Koo can't get it out as Riddle gets fresh bodies on the ice. Dawson, the lone man, back behind the net of Brooks. Koo alongside, no one able to get it free as Perry gets pinched into the wall. Dawson on a stumble, but Perry continues to fight. Stick up in the air, loose man, a slot save by Brooks off of the release from Hargrave, who scored a goal yesterday. As Miami eventually get it out of the end so they can have a little bit of breathing room, only 2 1/4 deep. Back towards center ice, where Riddle will enter once more. Hargrave along the wall. Hargrave sends that one back to the point, trying to go for Reichbosch, and it's poked away with John Joyce starting the attack. Joyce, with a head of steam, tries to drive the net as he goes in towards Murdoch, stuck in the pads. Did it cross the line? It did not. So James Murdoch making the start for Riddle after Jacob Skirtich was able to get his career high, increasing the career high in wins. He's got 3. Murdoch's only played in 3 games, but started 1, and that was a win in his lone start in an overtime win in Rollins in late October. A couple other appearances for Murdoch in this 24-25 season, but they were both in relief due to some of the results that Riddle was dealing with earlier in the season. As it's poked up inward from Anzaldi, but cannot corral, so Reichbosch will spring things the opposite direction. Hartung slaps it down behind Murdoch's net. Second to last road game of the season for Riddle, as they do have to make a one-day trip to FIT in the latter portion of January, as Riddle only have 4 more games to go in the 2025 portion of their season, and that will conclude the 21-game season for these Eagles, as they want to spring something upward after losing their first 7. Segerman turns around outside of the frame, still back for Segerman. Segerman overskates, Zdekis in for support. Now it's a potential rush here for Riddle. Weaving past his man is Andrew Coleman. Walks in on Brooks. Great save by Brooks and cleared out by Hartung. 4 minutes into the first period of play as Joyce hit the roadblock in the stripes, and that is going to very much upset Joyce, but good news for Miami. They get it back in the Riddle end regardless due to icing. John Joyce, I'm sure he would have loved to get the opportunity to potentially get his first point in college hockey south for the freshman from Amherst, New Hampshire. Tried to make his way into the offensive end. And sometimes the roadblocks, they just come to you. It's not necessarily anything you can control, but you got to make what you can work, as Joyce will rejoin this group after they only sent out 4 for the draw. But now to Murdoch's right. Joyce on the face-off. Zdekis attempts to keep it in. Zdekis got double teamed there as it's broken out by Lebertu. Shot wide by Isaiah Martin, but Riddle still have it. Backhander behind the net. Michael Nas attempted to jar it free, but Berman, he's got Zdekis alongside of him, as Berman and Zdekis struggle to get it out as we approach the 15-20 mark of the first. Nas took a stumble, no arm up as it's still in the Miami end. Nas trying to clip it away from the corner as Segerman sweeps it to center. Reichbosch, sophomore from France, makes his way around for his defensive partner Mitch Silva. Silva banks it for Lebertu. And a couple of white jerseys there with Sheraburiak and Dawson connecting, but not quite, as that one went through. Blocked by traffic, still in the area, but eventually skated out by Miami as Riddle goes off for a change. John Joyce wanted to start a potential 3-on-2, but that banked off of his stick, as Dawson tries to join the fray. Sheraburiak in deep. Now it's a chance for Del Duco on the entry. The wide angle try hit a blue jersey in front, so those aforementioned blue jerseys can make their way up with Jason Culbertson. Had a goal and assist last night as he continues to work in the offensive end. In front, couldn't get the release as it just skimmed off the stick of Hargrave, but keeps it in for Riddle. Slap on the point by LaFlame. Goes off of a stick towards the corner as it's continued to circle around by Riddle. Lost control. Dawson kept in by LaFlame as we are just crossed the 6-minute mark in a scoreless game. 3 canes, 1 eagle into that wall as it's a chance for Luca Fox to make his way upward. Del Duco. He's got Koo alongside of him that jumped over Koo's stick, so Del Duco will take it back towards the net as Murdoch pushes it aside with the stick. Took a touch last off of the Eagles, and they will attempt to change, but icing will prevent such thing. With 13-17 remaining in period number 1. No one has broken through, either Murdoch or Brooks, as one of the new additions of this Miami Hurricanes squad. One of the 15 first-year players of the Division III side for UM. Jacob Vasa got the lone goal for Miami yesterday. No one has gotten there yet today, as we are still at zeros across the board. Sent down again. Eagles, most likely back-to-back icings, and it will be. And some of these opportunities, these miscues, they really hurt Miami the other day. They struggled with icing the puck, getting stuck in their own end for long defensive shifts, gave up a couple goals because of it. But now have the opportunity to do the exact opposite on this Riddle squad, who made the travel down here to Kendall. Attempted keep in by Anzaldi, delayed penalty coming up against Riddle, as there was some collision away from the puck. Interference will start things off on special teams. So we are 4 ticks above the 13-minute mark, as an interference call will put Jason Culbertson into the box. And for one of the best offensive players for Embry-Riddle goes into the box. It allows Miami's power play to start something, as they were unable to score on their 2 man-up opportunities yesterday. John Joyce to take the draw. Won by Riddle and out. So we got Zedeckis and Nas on the back, with Joyce, Del Duco, and Rocket making their way in the forwards for this power play unit. Zedeckis struggles to get it out, but Nas works for John Joyce. Zedeckis in support on the entry. Zedeckis works the boundary. Has Joyce with Nas at the point. Del Duco holds on as he surveys his options. Nas on the releases, that took a deflection and went wide. Joyce on the cleanup with Zedeckis in the corner. First 40 seconds burned off of the power play as John Joyce and Del Duco make their way on the near side. Nas at the top of the blue line, that skimmed off his stick and back. First 52 seconds burned off of the power play on the interference call from Jason Culbertson, as we are approaching 12 minutes flat. John Joyce works in, tries to slither past. Joyce still on it with Zedeckis at the point. Hesitated on the release, so he's getting harassed. It allows Del Duco to find some room with Zedeckis. Del Duco. Evan Zedeckis with a blast. It's kicked out by Murdoch, and it's swept to the corner. Zedeckis on the keep-in. 24 seconds left to go on this UM power play. Haven't made a change yet. They've stuck with the same 5 for the full 145 so far, as that banks out of play for a hand pass. So this most likely will be a face-off outside of the Miami attacking end. With 14 seconds left in the power play for Miami, 11-18 in period number 1. And the face-off will be in the neutral area because of the hand pass signaled by the officials. And no substitution being made. They want to let this power play unit cook for the full 2 minutes. Try from distance, well wide of the net. We're back to even strength as Embry-Riddle want to start the breakout. Cannot do so because Ethan blocked the roadblock. A chance to come in, bang pass, skims through, and nice poke check there by Brooks. Off of the attempt from Anderson. Wide angle try, Brooks is still there as that backhand goes wide from the Riddle attack. Block gets it out as Nate Koo tries to get away from the target. Hargrave, he takes him down. Back to the point, fires into the pads of Brooks. The release there by Hargrave as Miami eventually get it out with Siegerman. Koo, he's got Block alongside of him, and that's where he goes. Ethan Block fires, missed the net. The freshman, David Hargrave, just towards the net so Larson can take possession and the rest of the Eagles can substitute. Ethan Block tried to send it towards the slot, but he got a little bit of stick-on-stick action there, so Anzaldi chases back as we just cross the halfway mark of the first period of play. 9:40 remaining in a scoreless game. Siegerman sends it down as LaFlame will keep it, and Brian Green weaves through. Summerhays bangs into the corner, but back again. He's got to take on a big body with Hartung as Siegerman tries to get it up, but it's held in by LaFlame. Sends it on net, it took a deflection off of Summerhays, and Brooks with a heads-up play snags a deflection at 9:13 in period one. And this has been a much better offensive period and defensive period for Miami than at least the final two periods of last night's game. And this can really provide an opportunity for Miami to maybe spring something ahead, especially with a short bench. Only 14 skaters Miami has available for today's game. And with Embry-Riddle, they do have those 3 extra bodies. They have 17 skaters with the 3 keepers. And even though it's only 3 bodies, those minutes can wear you down over the span of 60 minutes, or even a 120 if you include last night. So we'll see how the legs continues to hold up for Miami as Del Duco works in, takes a long distance try. Wide of the net as Rocket comes to clean it up, but cannot do so, as Riddle continue the movement back towards Zedekis. Rocket. Deflected towards Eric LaFlame. Huge hit on the far wall, allows Del Duco to push it through. Joyce attempting to harass his target, Culbertson, as it's ringed around Del Duco far side. Evan Zedekis on the collection. He's got John Joyce in front of him. That's where he'll go off of the bank. Joyce, wide angle, tries to go in front. Wanted Zedekis on the bank off the side of the net as Miami continue their change. And that's where Joyce will make his way to the bench. Slapped down by Culbertson, where Brooks will hold things up for Rocket. And a couple of bodies hit the corner, no one able to get it free. Zedekis tries to get it out, but he took a stick to the hand as he repositions and allows Berman to clear it out. Opportunity, Luca Fox fires high of the net. Gunnar Larson plays it back as Riddle, spring free. Ethan Block coming off of the bench, retreats to Dawson. Rory Dawson on the strip. Brooks with a blocker, second chance, diving block by Block, and that one finds its way through off of a couple swats in front. Gunnar Larson breaks through behind Brooks, 6:51 to go in the first. So Gunnar Larson leads the way as the junior forward has been on quite a bit of a heater. That's 1 goal and 3 assists for Larson in the past 5 games. and he had 3 assists in 3 games prior to the weekend starting. He gets one here. 4 points in 5 games. There's quite a way to go, especially in what is essentially a first season in college hockey south. Has had some experience with the D2 side as well, has Larson, but has not been able to do much there. Larson's second goal of the season puts Miami down by 1 as we are approaching 6 to go. Deep in the Miami end. Hartung crashes in there as Del Duco swings it free. Koo can't get it loose as Joyce steps forward. Captain Del Duco, Joyce, the lone cane up. Koo in support. Hartung wants it in the low slot. Took a swing, hits traffic. Anzaldi blocked in front by a diving Isaiah Martin. In towards the corner, deflected towards Murdoch, and a quick couple swipes there on John Joyce. He's not a fan of that, as not only did Murdoch get a swing of the stick, LaFlame intervened with the body as well. But things will hold up with 5:21, and it will be in the defensive area for Riddle. Gavin Perry gets his first point of the season as he was credited on the assist from that Gunnar Larson goal, as was David Hargrave, who scored a goal yesterday, gets an assist today. So that points him back-to-back for the sophomore forward from the freshman forward from New Jersey. Anzaldi. 5 minutes to go in the first. 1-0, the Eagles lead over the Hurricanes. Hartung tried to slip it out, but it's kept in for Labor 2. Labor 2 pinned to the boards by Hartung, but the Eagles keep it in. Labor 2. Continues movement for Coleman. Back to the point. Riddle are on it. Trying to send that one in toward Reich Bosch as it's Brooks trying to hold tight. Labor 2 through the legs, cross the line and out. Brooks didn't know where that was, but it stayed out regardless. Feed in front, and what a save by Brooks, and that trickles in after Brooks got a touch but didn't get all of it, as Griffin Lynch will get the goal and put Embry-Riddle up 2-0. So that is 2 goals in the span of about 2.5 minutes for Embry-Riddle as they take the 2-goal lead. Griffin Lynch will overtake a brand new career high with his 6th goal of the season. And despite not scoring at all against the 2 games versus USF last week, he had himself quite a streak to end October and to begin November. 4 goals in 4 games. And after 3 games goalless, he gets himself back into the goal column again with a brand new career high. Bit of a fan there as Riddle tried to make the entry. Sadeka swats it into the corner. Rocket. Far side he goes for Siegerman. Rocket back on the receptions. Got Block alongside of him, but he's harassed by Burns. In for Rocket, it scores! Some contact afterward, and things are getting feisty as Burns has been getting up in the face of every Miami Hurricane. Rocket let that one free. It was a bit of a knuckle puck, just skipped over the glove of James Murdoch, and Miami get on the board, and they've decreased the deficit for 2-1 with just a little over 3.5 to go in the first period. So Matt Rocket, his 4th goal of the season for this D2 side. He scored all of his 4 points in the first 3 games of the season has been blanked for pretty much a whole month and a half, and now gets himself back into the score sheet again, cutting this deficit to 1. Nas on the circle round. Siegerman steps in with block. Rocket, goal scorer, lays it back for Zdeikis. Zdeikis with 3 1/4 in a 2-1 game in favor of Embry-Riddle as they lead Miami. Rocket, that goes through him, but he makes the defensive stick there off of the release attempt from Reichbosch. Reichbosch again at the point, lets that one fly as that one flew too much as it makes its way back into the corner for Culbertson. Tries to release, goes off of a leg there. Still stuck behind the net. In front, Reichbosch, deflection, second chance swept through. Brooks with a save and goes off of a leg into the corner. Brooks with another save into the far side, Isaiah Martin. Riddle still keeping it deep. Back it goes, kicked away by Brooks off of the shot from Culbertson. 2 1/4 in front of Brooks's net. Kept out by Miami and sent up, and it'll die before it hits icing. So it's a chance for Reichbosch to just retreat and reset. Nate Koo on the forecheck trying to force something, and that forced Riddle to make something go as they go off for some changes. Smack along the boards. Dawson around, far side, kept in by Anderson. Anderson in front, that goes off of the bar and out. Brooks has to lay down on it. It's still loose. They whack away at it. It's still loose. No one's there. It's not in. No signal yet. And it never crossed the goal line as Brooks just laid down, that pinged the post and down. And Brooks with the wherewithal to just lay down and do everything he can to just cover the goal line with the length of his body, and he did so. And that one play might have changed the complexity of this game as we stay at 2-1 Embry-Riddle instead of being a 2-goal lead. So with 94 seconds remaining in the first, that goal line sprawl from Brooks keeps this a 1-goal game, and especially going to the locker room, that deficit to 2 versus 1 would have been a huge difference, especially considering how things went last night with Riddle ranking off 3 unanswered in response to Miami. But it's back for LaFlame, who sends it down. 1 1/4 in the period. Zdeikis can't circle it around, so Riddle keep it in deep with Larson. Larson side of the net, tried to poke it towards Brooks. It's back for the Eagles once more. Bit of a bobble there for Hargrave as this puck makes it back to center. And Zdeikis settles in the final minute, now at 50. Rocket, his first goal in a month and a half, gets Miami within 1. That one deflected off of Coleman, and because he didn't gain the red line, it'll go for icing with 28.3 remaining in the first period of play. And for Miami, this has already been a much better and much more productive period than pretty much anything they've done the entire game last night. You're starting to see some of the effort really show, and you're also starting to really get some of what was really missing from yesterday's game. Some of that hustle, some of that fight back. We've already seen some post-whistle scrums. Zdeikis with a blast as that's into the glove of Murdoch. And that's the other thing, too. There wasn't a whole lot of grit. There wasn't a whole lot of fight back from Miami last night. They were kind of letting that game be controlled by the Eagles, and they were taking it at points. But now Miami has come back with a different mentality. They're a little bit more no nonsense so far today, as we have 17 and a half. Sudeikis, wide angle, wide of the net. Nas tries to send it through. That goes off of Murdoch. Behind the net goes Anzaldi. He's got Joyce alongside. Nas with the keep in. Final 5 seconds. Sends it towards that. Murdoch with a save. Still loose. Who can get it in? Anzaldi scores! A loose puck at the side of the net, and Anzaldi pokes it in. 0.6 remains, and we're tied at 2. Fight back, Miami has. We've seen it in the post-whistle scrums. They did so with the scrap in front of Murdoch's net. And Anzaldi gets that one through for his first point in CHS for the freshman from Niles, Illinois. And because there's only fractions of a second remaining, that'll be it for period number 1. And what a response for the Miami Hurricanes, getting 2 goals in the final 3.5 minutes of the first. What a period for the Miami Hurricanes. It looked like they were going to lay back and let Riddle really control the game like they did yesterday. But after allowing 2 goals in the first 5.5 minutes for Embry-Riddle, Miami, something clicked in their heads and they said, we're not going to take that anymore. So it was Rocket who just sent that one towards net. It just fluttered perfectly behind Murdoch over his glove. And then the net front scramble allowed Francesco Anzaldi to get his first point in College Hockey South for the freshman to even things up at 1 goal aside. We're at 2-2 after 1. More from the second when we return. We welcome you back here to Kendall Ice Arena. Period number 2 in the works as we're tied at 2. Embry-Riddle came out of the gates flying with 2 goals in the first 5.5 minutes. They were able to get the 2-0 lead after 5 minutes remaining in period number 1. However, Miami would fight back with 2 goals in the final 3.5 remaining. Matt Rocket with his 4th goal of the season, his first in over a month and a half, assisted by Evan Zadakis, only playing in his 3rd game with this 3rd division of College Hockey South. He gets back onto the score sheet, getting his first assist of the D3 side, his 5th in totality, and then just at the buzzer, Francesco Anzaldi at the 1 second mark, 0.6 remaining to be exact. He gets his first point in College Hockey South with an assist from Louis Del Duco, getting his first assist in CHS, as well as 2 of the players in their first season of College Hockey South combined to even things up as 2 as we swap ends of the ice. Miami in the white, they'll go from left to right. Embry-Riddle in the blue, right to left. They go for period number 2 as Joyce squares off, loses the draw to Lynch, as Lynch and the rest of the Eagles make their way inward. Ryan Lee and the entire University of Miami Hockey Broadcast Network with you here on a Saturday afternoon, as that one continued to bank off a couple of jerseys before making its way out of the Miami end. A lot of the fight back for Miami really showed, especially towards the end of that first period. Not very glad with the effort they put up in the first 15.5 minutes to get down 2-0 in the first place. But we saw more of those pushing and shoves right at the conclusion of whistles, as well as the net front battle in front of Murdoch's net. John Joyce churns the legs as he puts the brakes on the far side. Rocket scored the first goal for Miami, gets it for Joyce. Joyce getting pestered as he's taken down the ice behind the net. And a throw of the stick will be a penalty for interference. So Joyce will get the interference call after the scrap behind Murdoch's net resulted in a stick flying. So this will be the first power play opportunity for Embry-Riddle today, as they went scoreless in their 7 power play opportunities last night. Miami's penalty kill really had some good chances yesterday offensively at times, especially considering how Embry-Riddle were really the ones to struggle attacking on the man up, as they already have to retreat. We already have the first quarter minute burned off, and more so with Nas sending that one in towards Murdoch. So John Joyce for interference, Nas to clip it in once more to continue eating away. We are already through 30 seconds of this power play for Miami, and Zadakis, the lone man, back. He sends it down once more. That's already at least 3, maybe 4 clearances for Miami in the first 40 seconds already, not even allowing Embry-Riddle the chance to even attempt a setup. But gliding on through is Eric Laflame. On the entry, works the wide angle, takes the shot, took a toe off of Brooks, and Block sends it down once more. Great work from Miami, just sending it deep any way they can. They're not messing around today. That's something they did a little bit yesterday, was that 1 to 2 seconds of hesitation, and that really bit them yesterday, but the hesitation has come no more as Block pokes it down once more. Only 45 seconds remain in the Embry-Riddle power play, and they've barely got a setup going in the offensive end. It's been just Miami collection and out the whole time so far, but eventually the entry goes for Hilibertu. Back to the point, fired on. Brooks easily saved for Coleman in the corner. He got an assist in one of the 2 goals. That's assist in back-to-back for Coleman as it bobbles up in the air. Block tries to shove his man off, but still on for Andrew Coleman. Leaves it behind for Labertu. In front, no one can get it through, as that is going to be Miami possession. Miles Hartung goes 2-on-2 Final 10 seconds of the penalty kill for Miami, as Hartung just wanted to churn the legs to keep this puck in deep. He does, and this will be pretty much it for the Joyce penalty. Barely even a shot attempt for Embry-Riddle. Only a save, maybe two for Brooks, as that took a touch, went wide, tucked inside of the net. That one goes over the roof, and play will stop as the net comes off the line. A nice defensive sequence for Miami's penalty kill and the defensive unit afterward, preventing Embry-Riddle from getting much of anything. 2 shots on net at the max for the Eagles. But beneficial for the Eagles is they will get the face-off in the Miami end. Good for Miami. They get a chance to substitute as Koo blocked that shot and allows Luka Fox to start the breakout with Joyce. Not far enough for icing as it went off of a man. As it back to the point. Dawson fanned on the shot. Now it's Embry-Riddle looking to make things work upward with David Hargrave. Points and back-to-back. Drives the net. Brooks stayed strong in positioning as Hargrave has to come back once more. Hargrave couldn't get the touch on for the feed for Silva, but Silva steps in on Koo. Tussle behind the net. Shot in front wide. Wraparound try. Off of a skate. Koo keeps it. Koo worked with Dawson to get this one out of the Miami end as Joyce pokes it upward. And Miami will get a couple of fresh legs out. Riddle have struggled to work this Miami offensive zone all second period so far, as we are through 4 1/4. Evan Zidakis makes his way up with Luka Fox, who took a touch. That will prevent icing and will allow Miami to get fresh bodies out. 2-2 game we stand. 15:26 in period number 2. Embry-Riddle looked to work in on the Miami end. Attempted cross, got cut off. Second try, blocked off by Brooks. Michael Nas cleared it away from the scrum behind Brooks' net, so Block and Joyce will start something upward. Del Duco amongst the fray as well, as that one got swatted down by Isaiah Martin. And Embry-Riddle just tried to do anything they can to get it out and sustain some zone time on the Miami end, which they have not really done so very much in this first period or this beginning part of the second period as well. Deflection off of Nas, fights towards the corner with Summerhays, and Nas will strip it away. Nas, Summerhays, the roadblock. Joyce has space, will utilize it as he tries to work past LaFlame. John Joyce on LaFlame, stripped from behind by Summerhays. Max Green alongside as well as Block waits for the substitution. Wanted to feed Joyce into the slot, couldn't get the swing, and Block sends it in deep once more. Del Duco on the pressure, and Zidakis is back. Zidakis paired alongside Anzaldi as Anzaldi got the equalizer at the 0.6 seconds mark of the first period. He will start the attack again. Del Duco and Block alongside. Anzaldi with a try. That one off of a leg of LaFlame. Towards the corner. Del Duco finishes his check off as there's a sliding Riddle Eagle going into the boards. Eventually springs loose for Hartung. Hartung loads up. That one shot wide. Rocket, side of the net. Rebound! And that was into the equipment of Murdoch. Del Duco's down on the far side as he took some collision. Del Duco still down. Murdoch covers up. And Del Duco, you can see him on his one knee on that far side, is laboring. And he is. And the rest of Miami, they'll go out for a wholesale change. And because of that contact, Miami will get a 2-minute power play out of it, with Isaiah Martin making his way into the box. Miami, so far this weekend and last weekend combined, only 1 power play goal in 10 attempts. Back to the point, however, Evan Zidakis and Michael Nas. Rocket steps in. Miami attempts to keep it in. So the slash on Martin was one of the reasons why Del Duca was down, and this will push Coleman to swing this one forward. Rocket's got Joyce in front of him, but elects to skate it up instead. Rocket steps on the gas, charges the net, poked aside, and it's still back from Miami. Evan Zidakis sends that one in, wide of the net. Joyce circles it around, goes for Nate Koo on the far side. Koo attempted to keep it in, and it's slapped out by Riddle. Michael Nas had to just slap that one down as he was feeling the pressure of Culbertson on his neck. But Evan Zidakis will await his options as there's only 52 remaining on the power play for Miami. 0 for 3 on the season, 1 for the last 10. Joyce, wide angle, outside of the net. And it's sent down again as Zidakis couldn't get the swat down. Michael Nas. Off of the bench and a stumble. Siegerman. Second unit coming on for Miami as Nas and Zidakis collect once more. 20 seconds remain in the power play for UM. 11:50 in the second period as we're knotted up at 2. Miami want to go up ahead on the power play. They have 10 seconds. They want to at least get into the end. As Siegerman and Zidakis will just await their options, as this will be it for the power play. Zidakis sends it in, and Riddle can't get it out. Sheraburiak towards net, went off of a leg, allows Berman to chase behind Murdoch's net. Siegerman with Berman, and Berman's got it on the near side. Berman, Sheraburiak towards net, deflected wide. Lone man on the far side is Culbertson, wanted to spring Perry loose, and Sheraburiak to win the race, no icing. 3 Canes, 1 Eagle. Eventually, Miami gets it out. Swung along by LaFlame. He's got Hargrave alongside. Just a scrap. No one able to really get that one through, and there's a chance. Wide angle. Skims across Brooks's face, and it's collected back by Gunnar Larson. Hargrave. An assist today. Tries to set up another one. Hargrave across, slapper into the pad of Brooks, off of the fire from Larson. In tight, Perry wants to work near side. Couldn't find a man in the slot, and Siegerman sees that one leave the zone. Siegerman down, Miami will change. We're at 2-all, we're at halfway through this game. Sent down, Anzaldi towards Murdoch. And Culbertson utilizing the space. Culbertson, stick on stick wide. Wanted to feed the slot. That goes past everybody, so it's back in the Embry-Riddle end of things. Embry-Riddle having themselves a decent turnaround considering the rough start of 7 consecutive losses. Since then, 5 and 4 are the Embry-Riddle Eagles since their disastrous start, to say the least. And with this Eagle side who has the most losses in the 3rd division of College Hockey South, they really want to try to turn things around considering how things did not go their way early on in the season. But ever since the turn of October, they've been close to 500 the rest of the way. Fox held up his man and made things difficult, and a penalty coming up. Cross check is the signal from the officiating crew, and this will allow Riddle to be back on the power play. As we cross the halfway mark of the second period, Eric Perrin will make a change, allowing his 3rd goaltender to come into the game. Jacob Oxtonen, a sophomore from a sophomore in his first season of College Hockey South, has 3 starts to his name already, all of them resulting in losses. So this could be the first time that he's appeared in a game where it's been a win. His last start was on the 9th in FSU in a 4-1 loss. Shorthanded opportunity, couldn't go, had to make Oxenden think fast, as that one comes in front of the Riddle goal, and the Eagles will push forward. Block for cross-checking is the penalty. 25 burned off already. Behind the net for Coleman. Coleman's got labor too. Wants to feed it in front. Save made as it just clipped wide. Second chance in front, off of the glove of Brooks, in and out. Sent towards net again. Brooks with a save. Hartung says goodbye to that, as Oxenden will hold things up. 1:10 remains on the power play for Embry-Riddle. 8:20 to go in a 2-all game. Across. No ice. Eagle, first one there. Near side. Quick deflection was a bit of a partial flub from Culbertson, and Seegerman will carry. Seegerman attempted a swipe but took contact instead, and now Embry-Riddle will send it down. This one will go for icing. The Eagles got away with 1 or 2 of those throughout the game, but that time the officials will say otherwise, as it will come back towards the Eagles' end. It will allow Miami to get a fresh set of penalty killers. And for Embry-Riddle, this is not necessarily how they want to see their power play go. They didn't convert on their first try, and none of the 7 last night either. As shorthanded, Zedeikis towards net, into the glove of Oxenden. And Oxenden had his first season in College Hockey South, making his first appearance in the latter portion of November in a home-and-home versus New Haven and against Jefferson. Both of those were blowouts for Embry-Riddle, 12-3 and 10-2 were the respective losses. Oxenden came in relief after some changes made in net from Eric Perrin. And Miami have to kill off the next 20 on the Ethan Block cross-check penalty. John Joyce circles back, goes across from Michael Nas, it squirts by everyone. Nas towards net, goes off of a skate. Oxenden with the cover-up as he had Rocket in his face. 4 seconds remain, shorthanded for Miami. And for Miami, they really struggled on the penalty kill going into the weekend series. 11 power play goals allowed. That's the mark they are still stuck at, where they are tied for the 3rd most power play goals allowed with the Embry-Riddle Eagles. And with these 2 penalty killing sides, neither have been able to maximize, especially against an Embry-Riddle side that has the 2nd most power play goals scored. So hats off to Miami as Embry-Riddle works in again. Hargrave with a shot, kicked out by Brooks. Back up top, Isaiah Martin took a swing, but that missed the net entirely. So Del Duco will attempt the push out. Instead, Gavin Perry works behind the net. Perry's got Zedeikis draped on him. Backhander towards Brooks. Still at the side of the net, no one able to get it free, and eventually it works loose. Del Duco, potential 2-on-1 brewing, but he lost control. Regains. Del Duco wanted to pass it towards Joyce, as Joyce is all alone on the far side. And a huge collision at the end of the play. Bodies hit the ice, and a whistle gets called after all is said and done. And you have a man down on the near side of Embry-Riddle. It's hard to see who that is, as you can see the training staff and Zedeikis with assistants trying to work on the Embry-Riddle player who is down. It's still hard to see that. It looks like just a little bit of collision alongside of the wall was the reason why we have a Embry-Riddle player down. as the training staff take a look. I want to say that's Isaiah Martin, but I can't tell for sure. So Martin, he was just trying to slam it in deep and just wanted to continue possession for the Eagles inside of the attacking end. As that is going to be Isaiah Martin, the senior from Daytona Beach. He just popped a tire trying to chase a loose puck. So nothing dirty in terms of any collision or any hits. He just tried to skate after a loose puck, clipped an edge, and just slammed into the wall. As the senior from Daytona Beach, he's in his third season with these Embry-Riddle Eagles. And he's had himself quite a season so far. 14 games prior to the season. He's already had some improvements from his season in 2023 where he got 6 points in 22 games. A little more of a defensive attacker, if you will, but that two-way game can be so important in this game. It's play back to the point from Sudeikis off of the win on the draw by Miami. Attempted send to the slot for Ethan Block, and Michael Nas sends it towards net. Oxenden with a save. No rebound there. Nas from a wide angle again. Friendly fire as it went off of Anzaldi. 6:10 in period 2. We're tied at 2. Ethan Block is back with Sudeikis alongside. Sudeikis on the bank. As that got gloved down by Siegerman, and the verdict is we were offside. So the clock will stop at 6 minutes flat. In Miami, we mentioned earlier, a lot more fight back than they had in last night's game, and even at latter points of the Florida State game, where they lost 3-2 in that second game of the head-to-head against the Seminoles. The fight back for this D3 side has been palpable compared to how things went last night, considering that a large portion of the D3 roster is over in Lakeland. Huge check along the wall by Michael Nas on the hip check. It allows Siegerman to spring loose. Siegerman gets past his man, Reich Bosch, side of the net. Oxenden covers. Nice work here from Miami. You've really seen a lot of the hustle really come back to a Hurricane side that was really missing for the first 60 to 70 minutes or so of this weekend series. But they're trying to get things back as they've got 5.5 left in the second period alongside the first. Turnover provides a 2-on-1 for Riddle. Across, shot, scores! A turnover allows a 2-on-1 for Riddle. Coleman feeds it across, and it's put back by Gunnar Larson. He's got 2. Embry-Riddle up 3-2. That was a bad turnover that just allowed things to spring in the other direction. Gunnar Larson has 2 goals, and that puts him at 5 points in 5 games, including 2 today. And you also saw Andrew Coleman in that rush as well. And he's been excellent this weekend. This should put him at 3 assists on the weekend. Wide angle try off of Brooks. Here's Coleman again. Attempted windup. Leaves it behind for Griffin Lynch. Off of a sharp angle, Lynch and Coleman continue to go. Coleman. In front, poked out by Del Duco. So Noah Laberton will actually get credit for the goal. Larson still stuck in 1 goal. Laberton with 1, and Embry-Riddle just like that. Goals back-to-back, and they're up by 2 once more. So that's 2 goals in 52 seconds, and just like that, in under a minute, We were tied at 2. Now Embry-Riddle is up 2. As the broken play in front of the net, no one was able to pick up their respective man, and Brooks wasn't able to read the play either. And now Riddle are up by 2, and Miami's got to fight back. They were down by 2 with 4.5 to go in period 1. Can they do the same here in the second period? Max Green comes in, feeds it across, was looking for Ryan Anderson. Anderson towards the slot, cut off by Nas. Nas with Siegerman and Berman, and Siegerman was a mile offside. 4:04 in period 2, 4-2, Riddle leads. Miami are stuck in their own end as they attempt to get it out. Ryan Anderson, he has got points in back-to-back as he has an assist last night and a goal today. As Block tries to continue the entry. Griffin Lynch credited an assist. He's got a goal and assist as well. That puts him at 18 points in his College Hockey South tenure. As it's sent down the length of the ice. This should come back for icing. So Coleman's got a pair of assists that continues a red-hot November for Andrew Coleman. 6 games played in this month, which includes 5 goals and 7 assists. 12 points in 6 games for the junior forward from Arlington, Virginia. He's been crucial for this Embry-Riddle attack that now has a 2-on-0 brewing. Drive to the net, around, couldn't get through Brooks. Second chance, wrap around, saved by Brooks again. Held on to the point by the Flame. Distance try, off of a couple legs and swatted through. Shira Buriak attempts to wall off his man, Gunnar Larson. So 2 goals in 52 seconds for Embry-Riddle. Puts them on top 4-2, but Del Duco wants to start the attack for Miami. Del Duco across, too far for Koo. Del Duco and Koo try to work out of the corner. Attempted strip by Joyce, could not complete the strip away as it's sent up and out by Hargrave. Back to the point. Fired on. Right Bosch goes wide. And Embry-Riddle cannot keep the zone as that pass splits the 2D with 2:02 remaining in period 2. Embry-Riddle leads by 2. Del Duco. He was working with Joyce and Koo as Miami tries to make a change. Joyce sends it in deep. As Miami continues the substitution. Block with Rocket coming off of the bench. Block. Tries to evade. Rocket towards the net. Block again. In front. Scores! Nate Koo parked in front of the net. Slaps that one in. And Miami's now within 1. What a shift there from that line of Rocket, Koo, and Block. They just continue to cycle that puck around. Koo has been a dangerous net front man for portions of the season. Got 2 goals versus Florida State. And now gets 1 today to cut this deficit to 1. It's now 4-3 Miami. Slap shot from distance, loose in front. Brooks made another save as he denied Coleman twice. That comes across Brooks's face. Just a little over a minute to go. Labor 2. Couldn't get past Sudeikis. That's Koo's third goal of the season. Got 2 versus Florida State. Embry-Riddle back on the attack. Swung towards net. Brooks. 2 great saves there. So Ethan Block, he gets credit for the assist. That's his first point collegiately with the University of Miami Hurricane as he tries to swing it up with Rocket. Nice little stick lift there. Now it's a loose puck. Is it a chance for Seegerman? Seegerman, 1v2, waits for reinforcements. Final minute of play, we're now at 26. Sent down, Miami and Brooks will touch up first, no icing. And once again, another great response from the Miami Hurricanes late in the period. Can they keep the deficit to 1? Shot goes off of Brooks into the corner. Scrap along the side boards as Block gets down. Still in the circle, and that'll do it for period number 2 as the deficit to 2 gets cut by 1 by Koo. And this will provide some interesting drama for period number 3. Koo from Block to cut the deficit to 1, but that was after back-to-back goals with about 5 minutes left to go from Larson and from Anderson back-to-back. It was 2-2 after 1. We sit at 4-3 after 2. Third and final period when we come back. We're here for the third and final time here at Kendall Ice Arena. Period 6 of 6 in this two-game doubleheader between the Miami Hurricanes and the Embry-Riddle Eagles. Miami looks strong for large portions of that second period. However, literally a 1-minute lapse held Miami from a tie game to down 2. As right around the 6.5-minute mark, Gunnar Larson would go up ahead for a 3-2 goal, and only 52 seconds later, another goal would be tapped in by Ryan Anderson. His 5th goal of the season would allow Embry-Riddle to go up ahead by a score of 4-3. But just a touch over 1:30 left in the second period of play. The freshman from Albuquerque, Nate Koo, cuts the lead to 1. As that's where we're standing here today after 2 periods of play. We get ready for period number 3 with Miami. They're still in the whites, going from right to left. Embry-Riddle in the blue, left to right. Entering period number 3 with an Embry-Riddle 4-3 lead. Jamie Brooks remains in net for Miami, and the sophomore Jacob Oxenen is in net for Embry-Riddle. Ryan Lee and our entire University of Miami Hockey Broadcast Network crew with you here for the second time here in Kendall, trying to wrap things up here on this 2-game doubleheader, the final weekend series for both the Eagles and the Division III side of Miami. Embry-Riddle tries to work on the near angle, but cut off by Joyce. Second opportunity, couldn't meet the man, as it's held in by Embry-Riddle with Griffin Lynch. A goal and assist so far today as Lynch carries it along with Labor-2, also a goal and assist today as well. Side of the net, that shot goes as it trickles behind for Labor-2. Labor-2 wanted to poke it along, tried to retreat back for Martin. Still kept in deep though with Coleman. No one able to get that one free. That one shot off the side of the net, and Brooks drops to a knee to cover things up only 54 seconds in. For Miami, the goal is simple. Try to walk away with at least a point after dropping back-to-back. They lost to Embry-Riddle 3-1 because of consecutive unanswered goals. They answered once, they need to answer once more. As it's swung around by Embry-Riddle, they keep it in deep with Green on the circle through. Koo got the deflection, sent down. Is this towards Oxenden? Yes, it is, so there's no icing there, as it could not cross the red line. So Max Green will take over. A goal yesterday as he tried to start something, but a quick flub allows Ethan Block to take over. Collision, Dawson goes in, back to center. A collection for the freshman, Arthur Shara-Buriak, as Block couldn't poke it loose. Now is a chance for Riddle on the entry, tried to feed it across. Nathan Koo skate prevented anything more to come from that, as the feed for Fox was too far in front of him, as Martin is caught reaching. Fox trying to jar it loose. Martin still on his knees. Fox in the scrum as well. Block in support, tried to feed it towards center, but no one was available. And Riddle make their way in with Gunnar Larson alongside Hargrave. A goal and assist on the weekend as Fox eventually continues the cycle. Koo with Block. They combined on that goal to pull within 1. They've got Fox alongside, but no one can corral. Just shot that one towards the Miami end, where Anzaldi will shoot it out, and Riddle will make a substitution. 2.5 already burned off as stepping into that. As Anzaldi, he takes a tumble. As the delayed icing is coming, and Miami will get docked. So Miami will be called back for the icing, as we've only gone through 2:40 of this third period, where 7 goals have been scored. Advantage goes to the Eagles. Trying to get back-to-back wins, only the second time this season. They did so between their 9-0 win against St. Leo on the 2nd and their overtime win versus the South Florida Bulls on the 8th in the beginning parts of November. This would make the second 2-game win streak for Embry-Riddle all year. And Miami just trying to get their 3rd win of the season, last time in a 4-1 victory versus USF on the road on the 2nd as well. Collision onto the board, cycle through, goes for Summerhays. Summerhays gets laid out as the shot goes and denied by Brooks. Summerhays wanted to feed it in front, shot off the post and out. That's the 2nd time that Embry-Riddle has echoed the iron. None of them have made their way in. And the posts have been Brooks' best friend so far, as that has negated at least 2 opportunities for Embry-Riddle. Wraparound try, deflects off of Oxenden, kept in by Zedakis. Zedakis pushes it around for Del Duco, lets that one fly past him for Rocket. Del Duco, side of the net, Zedakis up top. Zedakis! High of the net, kept in by Nas. Nas around, Rocket and Del Duco behind the net. As no one else is there for the support. And it's a chance for Brian Green, but he broke a twig. And now John Joyce on the entry. Joyce pops a tire. Zedakis in support. Zedakis weaves through. Couldn't complete the slide as Embry-Riddle will break out. Coleman towards net. Easy save for Brooks. Back on the stick of Coleman. In front of the net. Flubbed as that one skipped over the stick and above the net. Jarred down. Joyce gets it free, but not out as Koo tries to complete the job and can't do so. Coleman, far corner. Zedakis all over him. No one able to find the loose puck. Only Brooks. He's swatted out with the stick, and Ashera Buriak will poke it along with Koo as neither can complete the breakout with Reichbosch at the blue line. Evan Zedakis clears it with Del Duco to give some breathing room for Miami as they make a change. Dawson off of the bench. Tried to go with Shera Buriak, but Riddle claim it back at the point on the release. Mitch Silva wide of the net, 5 minutes deep into the 3rd, where Embry-Riddle have the 1-goal lead. Tangled up in front, kick save by Brooks. Kept in by Griffin Lynch, one of the alternate captains. Attempted feed up in front, and Labor 2 was tangled up. And Nate Koo will start something the other direction. Koo stuck in the skates. Green off of the bench goes block as he fanned on the opportunity, but he's got support from Rory Dawson as Miami just tried to make something work up ice. It's sent down, icing against the Canes. The one good thing you can argue for Miami, despite the icing, is that they at least got their change off. So they don't have to be hemmed in with a lot of lactic in the system. And for this Miami side, they've had a relatively short bench all weekend because of the sheer number of guys making the way to Lakeland, where they had the D2 side suffer 2 losses to the Florida Southern Mocs. Back to the point. Siegerman completes the hit. In towards the slot. A stumble there. Block. A chance to spring loose. That goes towards the red line, and they claim this is icing against Miami. So Miami will be back in their own end defensively after back-to-back icings, as we only have crossed the 6-minute mark as the backhand goes up and out of play. So now Miami will make another change, a much-needed one. And despite some of the pushback and fight back that they might have had in a majority of that second period, the one thing that I can say is ever since Jacob Oxenden has taken over the net, they have not put a lot of pressure on the first-year goaltender. As the deflection off of Hargrave goes behind the net, and Hargrave tries to retrieve once more. Sent down. Oxenden will let that one fly past him. Last off of a Riddle's player, so it will not be icing. So Miami will pressure in deep. Larson. Hargrave. Hartung, the obstacle, couldn't get past. Gavin Perry. Tried to meet up with Del Duco, but it's back for Miami again with Hartung. Joyce. Tried to just barrel through the target Martin, and this will draw a penalty at the 12:55 mark. Miami have to climb back from a 1-goal deficit, and this might be the opportunity to do so with Embry-Riddle taking a penalty for tripping. 2 minutes into the box as Ryan Martin skates in, the freshman from Alaska. Two-minute power play for Miami. Have not scored on either of the two opportunities so far today, but if they're able to get within one, this would much certainly change the complexity of this game with Del Duco backhanding it. Couldn't hit Zadakis, so it's out of the zone. Sent down. Miami will claim it back. Evan Zadakis, 25 seconds burned off for the man advantage. Zadakis again. 12 and a quarter, 121 on the power play. Miami down by 1, a chance to equalize on the power play. Rocket, wide angle, goes off of a body as the attempted rebound by Silva goes up but not out. Michael Nas from the point took a leg as John Joyce works in the corner, back for Nas. Circle through Del Duco. Zadakis steps in as he tries to continue the cycle, and it's sent out again by the Eagles. Del Duco. Fresh legs for Miami as Sharaburia comes off the bench at Siegerman. Zadakis gets the return feed as he tried to slide it for Del Duco, but that might have gone stick on stick with Labor 2, so they have to retreat with 26 seconds to go on the power play. Siegerman on the entry. Walks past his man, fed in front, off of Oxenden, side of the net. Joyce can't complete the shot. Final 12 seconds left to go. Siegerman takes it back. Dawson, Del Duco fires, saved by Oxenden, rebounds, and Akins save again. Still loose, no one's got it. Side of the net, off of the crease and wide. We're back to even strength. Still possession in the Miami end as Zadakis gets pressured from Martin coming off of the penalty box. Joyce walks in, fires off of Oxenden and covered. What a sequence there from Miami as they were able to get some significant pressure on Jacob Oxenden. However, it took a lot longer than that should have. They literally let, at minimum, 50 seconds of that power play just eat away before they can really sustain something. And a little bit of extra rest time for Miami as they're trying to shuffle up the lineups a little bit with Koo joining Block and Rocket. It's Block and Fox, rather. As those three, they were so dangerous at the end of the second period. They allowed the goal to come within one as Luka Fox takes it away after the Embry-Riddle turnover. Fox from distance, easily kicked out by Oxenden. Miami couldn't get it loose, so it's a chance for Summerhays on the entry. Summerhays takes the body from Dawson. Sharaburia is back. Just cleared it down with Koo. And Fox. He's got Block with him. Sharaburia for Block. We just crossed the 10-minute mark of the third period. Koo and Block behind the net. Neither can corral. Played back towards center ice where Rory Dawson, the lone man back. As Block and Fox had a little bit of a miscommunication there, so Koo will send it upwards with Fox. Hartung sent it down, but Miami was making a change, so no one was available. Koo keeps in the line, and now he works loose. Capped in to the point. Hartung towards net. Took a deflection off of Fox. Block tangled up. As Riddle working the offensive end as trying to weave through is Anderson. Backhander goes off of Hartung. Hargrave lets that one rip off of a body in front. Bank off the wall and the official. A quick fan there off of the shot attempt from Larson. Back to the point. Partial swing there by Martin as he didn't get all of it. And back for Gunnar Larson once more at the center. 8.5 in the third. 4-3. Embry-Riddle leads over Miami. Trying to spring Siegerman loose, but Koo didn't get full contact, so it's Embry-Riddle back again. Shot is easily pushed aside by Brooks. Koo is backing down. Reichbosch. Coleman. Works to another alternate captain, Griffin Lynch. And that puck was tight roping the blue line, and a little bit too much so, as that will be whistled down offsides with 6 under the 8-minute mark here in the third period, where Embry-Riddle still have the 1-goal advantage. Riddle looking for the first 2 game-winning streaks since early November. Miami trying to get back into the win column since the second, and their 3rd win of the season. A nice little tick there by Siegerman, allows some space. Siegerman drives the net. Too much juice on that. Siegerman, he lost an edge and couldn't continue the attack. It's sent down. Michael Nas, he's got Anderson right on his tail. Nas is there first. As Sadekis, it was too far out of his range. A miscue there, and John Joyce has a potential 2-on-1. Joyce will Del Duco. Joyce! That was behind Del Duco as it was out of range. That was a bad pass there by Joyce. Had he hit Del Duco on the money, that was most likely a tie game. But Siegerman still on it. He's got Joyce again, stuck in the feet of the officials, but Miami work once more as the Canes try to get fresh legs out. Dawson, the disruption. In towards the Embry-Riddle net. That should be too many men on the ice. Embry-Riddle will be shorthanded. A sloppy change puts them shorthanded due to too many men on the ice. Miami back on the power play, down by 1. A chance to equalize. 2 on the board at 6:37. Miami have come back from multiple goal deficits before, and with Embry-Riddle, a team who has the 3rd most penalty minutes in the division, these power plays are not what you want to give Miami, a team that's just trying to cling on to life. Sadekis, he's paired up with Hartung this time as Rocket, Block, and Joyce take the power play. Springing up ahead as Hartung as he crashes into the offensive end. Del Duco unable to keep it in, so it's back towards the defensive side. Hartung and Sadekis. 30 seconds off of the power play. Block. Block is in. Shot off wide of Oxenen's net as Sadekis keeps it moving along. Rocket fights in the corner. Sadekis able to keep. Sadekis off of Oxenen and cleared by Riddle. Brooks steps in to give Rocket some life. But it's sent down again by Max Green, and the first minute has been burned off for this Miami power play. Have not scored on 3 chances today. This is their 4th. And the 6th of the weekend. No goals on the power play. As Sadekis shoots it in deep with a man coming off of the bench. It's Joyce. Bank pass, kept in. Del Duco tried to get it free. It's stuck in Del Duco's skates. A chance. John Joyce, he's got options, and there's a delayed penalty coming up. A roughing call upcoming, and it looks like we'll be 4-on-4. I am not very sure about that. With Del Duco getting docked again for unsportsmanlike. And this is a predicament if you are Miami. You already had Del Duco on the bench. That was the initial call for roughing, and then they choose to dock him again for unsportsmanlike because of some verbiage afterward. And this close to the end of the game, 5:09 remaining in the 3rd. And what most likely is going to be just a flurry of penalties to end the game. Not quite sure how anyone can feel about that. Nas on the pressure. Nate Koo in support. We skate 4-on-4 for another 15. Back to the point. Dawson fires! Just missed the net. So Del Duco is done for the game after the unsportsmanlike conduct as Embry-Riddle tries to weave through. The shot is absorbed by Brooks. It's still loose, and Brooks will hang on as only 34 seconds of this penalty from Del Duco has been burned off. We are no longer 4-on-4. We are now at a 5-on-4 power play for Embry-Riddle. They've been scoreless all weekend. This is their 10th attempt. To the point, across. Reichbosch, glove down by Brooks again. And this is kind of, in a way, clutch time for Miami, as they're going to not only have to put on some of their best defense, but potentially some shorthanded attack as well, with Siegerman and Block in the shorthanded unit as it's sent out by Hartung. Block. Couldn't get it past, so it's already in for Riddle. Back to the point for LaFlame. Tried to get the shot off. It is disrupted by Sadekis, and Sadekis wants to start something shorthanded. Elevated, too much for Siegerman. But Siegerman is able to send it towards Oxenen, and Oxenen will have to freeze. 45 seconds remain on the power play for the Eagles with 5-under-4 in the 3rd. 4 goals for Riddle, 3 for Miami is where we sit just under the 4-minute mark. And Del Duco, with the misconduct after unsportsmanlike, is pretty much done for the game. So Miami, already short on the bench, will be short once more. As Embry-Riddle will work it upward with Noah Labertu. Labertu weaves through. Offside are the Eagles. They get back on as it's shot through by Lynch, and he's got Coleman. Lynch, final 20 in the power play. Try to go for Labertu, off of a skate. 2 saves there by Brooks as Hartung prevents another stick from getting another whack at the Miami netminder with 15 to go in the penalty for the initial rough, with just under 3.5 in the 3rd period of play. Final 10 seconds left to go on the power play as this one's shot in well wide and side of the net. Brooks has to stay strong to the post, and Riddle get it back. We're back to 5 aside. Again, Riddle attempted to play it towards the blue line, and they do. Wide angle, took a deflection wide on the release from Reichbosch. Joyce smothers his man. There's a chance for Rocket, wanted to spring Fox loose. A deflection from Riddle allows them to change as we're just under 3 remaining, 2:40. Hartung with Fox. Miami, they need new legs. Miami trying to be careful not to touch that to prevent too many men as we have 2:24 remaining in the third period of play. Miami is still down 1. Attempted clearance for a potential offensive breakout. Cannot do so. Near side it goes for Brian Green. Flutters that one behind the net as Sheraburiak steps into his man. Joyce there too with Sheraburiak. 2 Canes, 2 Eagles, hemmed along the boards. 2 minutes remaining in the third where Miami is down by 1. Fox can't get it loose. Sheraburiak in there as well. Eventually makes its way for Perry, but it goes right for the breakout for Joyce, and that got clipped after the blue line. So there's no icing as Berman steps in. Berman on the cycle. Riddle reverses. Sheraburiak tries to get a deflection. Ethan Block is the lone man back. Block fires. Oxenden covers. 1:28 in the third. Miami still have a goal to make up. Faceoff will be in the Embry-Riddle end, and this is where Miami will call timeout. So Miami will call the timeout with 1:28 to go in the third period of play, with the score being 4-3. And we've seen this. It's been a recurring theme for this Miami D3 side. They only have a lapse for maybe 30 seconds to a minute, let goals in, bang, bang, and that has bit them before, as well as today. In the second period, they let 2 goals in the span of 52 seconds to go from deadlocked at 2 to down 4-2. And to open up the scoring in the first period of play, they let in 2 goals in the span of just shy of 2.5 minutes. And that went from the first goals being scored to Miami being down 2-0 with 5 minutes to go in the first period. So you let in multiple goals in about a 2.5 minute stretch, then you do so again in a span of 52 seconds. And that is how Embry-Riddle has gotten all 4 of their goals so far. Miami, they've gotten a couple one-offs here and there, but they need to get their way back onto the score sheet. Niku did get one with a minute 32 remaining in the period. 1:28 remains in period number 3. Miami's up 4-3. Brooks is still in the net. Face-off, won by the Canes. Zadakis pokes it along. And it's sent out towards center where Riddle want to walk in. Wide angle. Up and out of play off of the attempt by Culbertson. And that burnt off just a little bit over a dozen seconds as we have a minute and 16 remaining. Won by the Eagles. Martin in front of Michael Nas where Block is alongside. Block just got bodied off before he could reach the puck as Rocket just tries to find some breathing room in the final minute of play in the third period. Rocket can't evade his man as it's played back for Joyce. Brooks to the bench. 6-on-5 we skate.